Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And tonight is Thursday Night Football. And this might be the best Thursday Night Football game this year. And I mean that through the whole season, this might be the best one. Because the Lions and Packers is always exciting to watch. The Lions have beaten the Packers twice in the last two meetings. So this is really interesting. And it looks like David Montgomery is going to go for the Lions. It also looks like Watson and Jones, and it looks like Christian Watson and Aaron Jones are going to be able to go. Not David Bakhtiari. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to go. But you get Watson back. You get Aaron Jones back. This can be the best Thursday night game this year. I'm also interested to see what the Lions look like against this kind of a competition of we're going to go downhill, we're going to run the ball, and the Packers do a very similar thing. Downhill, run the ball, get the ball to your playmakers. That's what you do. It's been the Packers' way for like the last 15 years. Get the ball to the playmakers and get out of the way. It's what they do. Now, that's going to be a close game, I think. I think I said this early in week 1. I said every game the Lions play this year will be a close game. The game, if they win, it's not going to be they're going to score 40. No. They're going to win games 23-20, 20-17, 20-14. That's how they're going to win. And the games they've won, that's how they win. 20-19, 20-6 was the game against Atlanta, but they didn't score more than 20 points in either game. That's how they want to play. Do enough offensively and then ride that defense. For the Packers, Jordan Love's looked really good. This is his first time actually facing competition against a really good defensive line in Detroit. He did struggle against New Orleans and then turned it on in the second half. So I can't wait to see what Jordan Love looks like, and I can't wait to see what Christian Watson and Aaron Jones look like, both coming back from hamstring injuries. It's kind of a wait and see, but I'm very excited for this game. I also did predict this game. Next up, Ezekiel Elliott is returning to the Dallas Cowboys for this week. The Patriots play the Dallas Cowboys in AT&T Stadium on Sunday. It's in the 4 o'clock window for Fox. What did you figure? Elliott anticipates what he called emotions against the Dallas when he returns to Dallas. And the Cowboys have a little surprise for him. I think it's going to be like a video, like an appreciation video that the team is doing. You played there for 7 years. You have a lot of great friends. You're still really good friends with a lot of these players. Of course, there's going to be emotions. And of course, the Cowboys are going to do something. But don't get it twisted. Expect, and be surprised if this doesn't happen. Expect Ezekiel Elliott to get a touchdown. Expect it. And expect him to play really well. For the Cowboys, you didn't play good against Arizona. That's got to change. Your run defense has to change. They have to be way better. The offense has to be better in the red zone. They can't afford to make those mistakes. But I can't wait to see what the Cowboys do for Ezekiel Elliott. And this is the first time Zeke and Dak have played against each other in the pros. I can't wait to see what happens. Next up, this is weird. I think it's weird. the Raiders. Okay, the Raiders aren't going really anywhere right now. You lose to the Steelers in embarrassing fashion. Jimmy Garoppolo is in concussion protocol as of Monday. He was in concussion protocol. This is interesting. Immense anything. But I'm concerned about what's going on with Chandler Jones. He's been active on his Twitter account where he said, I won't say what he last said, but he says basically get Josh McDaniels out of Las Vegas. There was another tweet that I cannot share on YouTube, but I encourage you to go look. It's pretty scary, and you don't know where his head is at. And they brought him this past week, I believe on Monday, to a psychiatric hospital. He said not under his own will that he had to go. But that's scary. That's just very scary. And if you're the Raiders, you're having these issues on top of the fact your team isn't very good, and Max Crosby and Devontae Adams are saying, "Look, we don't want to wait. If we want to win, it's either going to be here or it's not. So let's cut the chase and say, okay, it isn't going to work. Let's get out of here." Next up, and Rodgers, because the Jets have been getting. I want to say this: the Jets have been getting crucified by their fans. I think that's the best word to put. Rodgers was attempting for the Jets to come together, perform together. And he was trying to say, look, it's going to take a little bit of time. There's a little adversity right now. But the Jets fans are not happy. They're not happy. And rightfully so. Zach Wilson has not been good. I think everyone can admit that. They have Joe Namath. They broke Joe Namath. I don't know how you do that. Joe Namath is the most positive person for the Jets organization. I understand it gets rowdy in New York. I get that 100%. But the fact that Aaron Rodgers is saying, hey guys, we need former players and our current players to help the cause, not hurt the cause. But at what point does the media go and say, well, Rodgers, you're not here. You're not here helping out Zach. You're not here helping out this team. You're not here. And that's, I think, the question that comes to mind is you're not there. You're in California. There is speculation he was going to come for week 4 between the Chiefs and the Jets on Sunday Night Football, which we did that game too. I predicted that game. But Aaron Rodgers, I think at this point, like, they want you as the quarterback. They absolutely do. But that's not the situation right now. The situation is the offensive line is bad. Zach Wilson looks very underprepared and very scared every time he gets out there. He doesn't want to be out there. That's the problem. And I'm concerned that this might be the year for the Jets all season long. They did bring in Trevor Siemian, but which is even more the reason why you should be scared. Let me make sure I can find it. I want to make sure. Okay, yeah, right here. So Matt Eberflus, the Chicago Bears head coach, was talking about, the Bears are really close. To what? To losing every game? To being god awful on defense to win a game, to play like they're supposed to play? Like, what are we close to? No one knows. Are we close to retirement? What are we doing? Are we close to getting fired? Who knows? Nobody knows. That's the problem. So when he says we're getting close or we're close, what are you close to? The Bears have lost 13 straight. And I didn't know this until I saw it yesterday. The Bears have lost 13 straight in 17 of their last 20. That's terrible. You've lost an entire regular season. 17 of your last 20 and 13 straight. That's embarrassing if you're the Bears organization. And it has to be fixed. Because someone tell me in the comments, what's the last Bears victory that they've had? Hang on, let me look it up. I want to check this. The last victory that the last time the Bears won a game, October 24, when they were 0-3 and they beat the New England Patriots. Remember in that rainstorm? That's the last time they won a game, not the last time that they played a game. When they won a game, that's the last time. It makes no sense. I understand Justin Fields looks whelmed. He looks confused. He's missing open reads. He's holding the ball too long. He's not running around. He's not doing anything. That's the problem. On offense, you have people who are not playing to their expectations or to other people's expectations. You have a defense that is bad, who has a lot of great talent but are bad. You don't have anything. They scored 10 points against the Chiefs, and I thought that was a miracle. They scored a touchdown. Impressive. I was impressed because they were so bad. At one point, they are losing 30-0. So I don't know what they're close to. Close to going 0-17? What are they close to? That's a concern. You can't say we're close. You're not close. What are you close to? Losing 20 straight? What are you close to? That's a problem if you're the Bears. You have to figure that out. Next up, we have Colin Kaepernick news. Colin Kaepernick, I believe it was from his agent. He wrote a letter. This is what it says. Jets quarterback situation. Colin Kaepernick sends a letter to Jets requesting to be signed to the New York's practice squad. Now, this is interesting. Only because Colin Kaepernick has not played in a really long time. In fact, Kaepernick hasn't played or practiced with anyone. Now, everyone will say the same thing. Well, being a human rights activist, that's the problem. No, or a civil rights activist, that's the problem. No. The media is how you portray everything. And every time you see Colin Kaepernick, you envision in your mind him kneeling when They were singing the Star Spangled Banner. You envision it. You see it in your mind. It's a clear picture. Do the Jets want that? I don't think they do. But also, on the flip side, what other choice do they have? It's Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Simeon's on the practice squad. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. That's all you can say. Give him a shot. And if it works, great. If it don't, who cares? You just wasted a day. But give him a shot. Because at this point, I don't know what else you can do if you're the Jets. You can't roll with Zach Wilson all year. You just can't. The entire New York City, New Jersey area would riot and tear the stadium down if Zach Wilson plays all year. You have to make a decision right now. Because if you don't, the entire New York City and New Jersey area will band together to destroy the Jets. And you don't want that. I understand, Robert Saleh, you've hitched yourself to Zach Wilson. I get it. But if you have a horse that keeps going backwards, he keeps making these mistakes, sooner or later, you got to come up with the decision of, let me unhitch myself from this horse and let me go and figure something out. That's what you got to do at this point in the year. You're you're 1-3. You're 1-2, excuse me. But the 2 games that you've lost really bad. Or the game shouldn't have been as close as it was. You lost to the Cowboys. You scored 10 points, but you lost to the Cowboys 30-10. You lost to the Patriots 15-10. Probably should have lost to them 25-10. You could not afford to play a whole season with Zach Wilson and expect to make the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. Now, is Tim Boyle, is Trevor Simeon, or anyone else that could play quarterback that is not on the roster capable of bringing you to 10 wins? Probably not. But if you can find something with one of those guys, it's better than what you got. It's better than what you got. Because I don't know if the Jets will win another game this year. The way they play on offense, their defense is exhausted because they have to be on the field for so much. Their offense stalls out. They can't score points consistently. This is bad. And if you're the Jets, you gotta make the decision. Move from Zach now. Bench him, send him somewheres. Because if you got Joe Namath freaking out, and send him to Kansas City, send him somewhere, just back up, and we'll bring in whoever. Blank it. We don't care. They need something. They need something, and they need it fast. And that does not have Zach Wilson in the fold at all, in my opinion. Next up, and I know this doesn't quite affect the NFL, but it kind of does. So, the XFL and the USFL are 2 leagues that every now and then you see an XFL player make an NFL roster in the preseason or even in the regular season. And the same thing goes for the USFL. Well, both leagues announced they have the intent of merging to one spring league in 2024. I think the NFL should use this league that is getting merged as kind of like what the baseball has as a minor league system, where you have players that you like that probably don't fit your team, but you know they're good. You put them in this league for that. That's what you do. And then when they gain the experience and they gain it, and you realize, okay, now we really like this player, we sign him up like that. It won't count against your roster. That is I think a great idea because the NBA does this with the G League, and baseball does this with their minor league system. Why can't the NFL do the same? Use the XFL USFL merger as the as a triple A, double A, G League kind of system. I think that's a great idea. Get players because there's so many free agents, and a lot of these players are very well liked in terms of their football prowess. You put him in that, and okay, maybe the other team does not want you, but this team does, and so they can sign you right off the squad if they want. But if we put you here, we have that ability as well, and I think that would be a happy medium, kind of a way to create a G League. These teams who have injuries all over the place. Like, the Eagles have injuries in their secondary. They played really well against Tampa, but they have injuries all over the place. If they play, or if they have this, they can easily just call somebody up after an injury. Boom, call you up. Let's go. That's what they can do. And you don't have to concern yourself. I think it's a great idea. And finally, we have predictions. Now, the first game I predicted, well, actually, okay. The first game I predicted was the Lions and Packers. Our regular season record is 16-6. That is unbelievable. Let's continue that. Let's continue that excellence. So we have the Lions and the Packers. This is Thursday night. The Lions got a the Packers got a +2. Excuse me. Let me make sure I have that. I wrote it all down in the description so you can follow along. I have the Lions winning 24-21. And again, like I said, this will be the Lions' like first actual attempt that they'll get over 20 points. But I think the Lions win this. Again, close games. That's how the Lions are gonna win. I think the Packers are pretty good, and they're gonna continue to get better. Now that they have Jones, now that they have Watson, their offense is gonna be better. But I think the Lions are just further along in that process. So the Lions win 24-21. Next up, I have the Bills, or the Dolphins versus the Bills. The Bills are actually favored in this game, -2.5. I have the Dolphins. They're just too powerful. The Dolphins win because they're just too powerful for the Bills. Dolphins win 31-24. I don't trust Josh Allen, and I think the Dolphins. You just scored 70 points. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the edge over a team that doesn't quite look like they have it as of yet. They've played better the last 2 weeks, but not quite there yet. Next up, we have the Bucks and the Saints. I kinda circled this game a couple weeks ago. Okay, the Saints look decent enough, and the Bucks look really good. The Saints are favored by 3. No Derek Carr. He's week to week. So let's see how much time he does miss. But I have the Bucks winning because I think they get back on track, and I don't trust the Saints with famous Jameis Winston at this point. I don't like what they do. I don't care for the offense. The fact the Saints were undefeated, won 2 games was unbelievable. They were so bad on offense. They were really bad. They have a good defense, but their offense is atrocious. It's terrible. So the Bucks, they don't turn the ball over, which they did against Philadelphia, which does not help. But I think they get back on track. Bucks win 24-21. Yes. 28-14, excuse me. Bucks win 28-14. Next up, I have the Commanders-Eagles game, and I'll tell you why I predicted this game. For whatever reason, the Commanders play the Eagles the best. I don't know why. Sam Howell did not look good against Buffalo. The Eagles destroyed Tampa. The Eagles are favored by 8. I have the Eagles winning, but the Commanders always play them tough. I like what Bieniemy's doing for the Commanders. I have the Eagles winning 31-28, but I would not be surprised if the Commanders win this game. I would not, and neither should you. Next up, we have the Patriots against the Cowboys. Zeke Elliott returns to Dallas. The Cowboys are favored by 6.5. I have the Cowboys winning a close game because every time these two teams play each other, it's a close game. Cowboys win 24-20. I think this game, again, like I said earlier, don't be surprised if Zeke Elliott scores a touchdown. Don't be surprised if he scores 2 touchdowns. Be surprised if this Cowboys offense can score in the red zone. If they score 3 times in the red zone, I think you're in good shape for this game. So I think the Cowboys win 24-20. Next up, Chiefs at Jets. The Jets are getting plus 9.5. Now, they showed the over-under is 41.5. The over-under should be, is Aaron Rodgers going to show up? He said on the Pat McAfee show that he was going to try to show up for this game. I don't know if he is. I know Taylor Swift is, but I don't know if he is. This is going to be a bloodbath, I think. Chiefs win 35-10. Now, what's going to happen if Zach Wilson looks bad again? That's the question. Do they just leave him in? Do they say, okay, Tim, go in because we can't do this anymore? Or are the players just going to get really frustrated that Zach Wilson remains in the game? That's a question we have to have. And finally, the Monday night game. We have one Monday night game. It's amazing. Seahawks versus Giants. I believe this game is a Manning cast game. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm like 95% certain this is a Manning cast game because the Giants are on Monday night. The Mannings are obviously Eli played with the Giants. I believe this is a Manning cast game, which I can't wait. This is a pick'em game. There's no favorite because I don't think Vegas knows what to make of either of these teams. Seahawks are 2-1. They could easily be 1-2 or 0-3. The Giants are 1-2. They could easily be 0-3, 2-1, 3-0. They are all over the place. So this is in MetLife. Again, Jets play one day, the Giants play another day. That's happened in week 1. Giants played the first game, the next day, Jets played same stadium. Just happened. I have the Seahawks winning this game. I don't know what the offense of the Giants is without Saquon. And even with Saquon, I don't trust them. Close game but I have the Seahawks winning 28-24. And that is the predictions for week 4. We have some exciting stuff in the works that I can't say as of the moment, but just know it's going to be very exciting and it will consist of 2 people. For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert.